Bonjour, salut, konnichiwa. Hello, fifth graders. Welcome to Miss Wilson's online classroom. I miss you all and I hope to see you soon. Class is now in session. Let's go ahead and review our learning target from earlier this week. I will analyze plot elements, including the rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. Now, I want you to read the I can statement in red to yourself. Let's go ahead and review our plot elements. Our vocabulary words are exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. Go ahead and read the definitions to yourself. I want you to go ahead and reread the story, Wren and Eagle, from yesterday. If you need for me to read the story to you, you can go back to lesson one. Let's practice together. Let's read the sentence from the text. Just then, Wren burst through the crowd and found himself beside Eagle on the starting line. The question asks, how does the rising action affect plot? Well, let's review our keywords. What is plot? Well, plot is the sequence of events in the text. Well, what is rising action? Rising action is the events that lead up to the climax or the most exciting point or the turning point. So the question asks, how does the rising action affect the plot? If I were to examine this question and break it down into parts, the question is asking, how does the events that lead up to the climax affect the sequence of events in the story? What strategies can we use to answer this question? Well, the question is asking, how do the events that lead up to the climax affect the sequence of events in the story? Well, first I need to identify what events make up the rise in action. What events lead up to all the excitement? What did you write on your plot mountain? What was going on or what was happening before the big moment? And how did that moment affect the story? If something different were to happen, how would the story have changed? So, how did that event affect the story? I want you to use that strategy to help you answer this question. C is the correct answer. I know this is the correct answer because the choice demonstrates that Wren's actions of bursting through the crowd and lining up beside the strongest bird reveal that he has determination. This determination will be important later in the story. Let's practice together. Let's read question 2. Which sentence from the text is the climax of the plot? Well, let's review our key terms, our key words. What is climax? Climax is the point of tension or the deciding moment. And remember, we just talked about plot. What is plot? Plot is the sequence of events in the text. So if I were going to examine and break this question down, the question is asking me which sentence from the text best tells the deciding moment in the sequence of events in the story. Well, what strategy can I use to answer this question? Well, first I need to read to identify which sentences or sentence best tells me the deciding moment in the story. Is there a moment in the story where the character makes a decision that has a big impact on how the story will end? Remember from our song, something has to change when we get to the climax. What is that something? I want you to use this strategy to answer this question. Go ahead and take a few minutes now. H is the right answer. With great effort, he flew to Eagle's back and clung to his feathers unnoticed. This sentence reveals the moment that Wren makes a decision that will secure his victory in the competition. That sentence lets us know that that is the deciding moment that has the biggest impact on how the story will end. Let's practice. Let's read question 3. The resolution of the text takes place when, well, let's review our key terms. Resolution. Well, what is resolution? Resolution is how the problem was solved. The solution. So if I examine this question and break it down, the question is asking, the problem is solved in the story when? Well, how do I know the conflict was solved? What strategy can I use to answer this question? Well, let's think about your plot mountain that you created, your plot diagram that you created. I know that the solution happens after the following action. So let's think about the events that happen after the climax. What events tells how the conflict was resolved? I want you to use this strategy to answer this question. I know that A is the correct answer because the conflict is solved when Ren becomes king. That is the solution. Ren becomes king. Think about our learning target. Are you able to identify and explain the elements of plot to show you understand how the elements form a complete story? I want you to answer the discussion question. Post your answer inside of Schoology discussion board. Then I want you to use your talking stems and respond to two of your classmates. I've included the talking stems on this slide. Let's see what you can do. I want you to read the text and answer the questions related to plot. You will submit your answers in Schoology using a Google form. At this time, return to Schoology to read and complete this assignment.